today I thought I would do a video that kind of goes into the history of my experiences with ASMR and how I started making videos, the people that I watched and how they influenced me, and why I started making videos, and how I got to a certain place in YouTube, and why I stopped and why I came back and why I stopped, and kind of just like to be a little transparent about everything. And I know I made a video like this like just a few weeks ago, right when I came back, and I was like, hey guys, I'm back. But today I thought I'd go a little more in detail about a couple of those things, and I thought it'd be nice if we just start from the beginning, with why did I start in the first place. So let's begin. And also to accompany me, I have a bowl of chicken pad thai with some rice. So if you don't mind, I'm also just eating dinner. I know mukbang is kind of a big thing, so I thought I might give it a shot. If you don't like it, then I might not do it again, but I thought I would experiment and try it out. But anyway, it looks like this. It's really good. Sorry, I can't get like a good camera angle on it. It's really nice. So yeah, get a little bite of this here. Put some rice on there. Give it a shot. I have no idea if the mic is picking this up at all or not, but I think it's pretty good. Yeah, this is all like the rice was cooked, and then this was microwaved on top. The pad thai was prepackaged, but the rice was cooked, so I kind of just like added rice to it, and it comes with these little things of chicken, which I think are very nice. Okay. Put that there for visuals. Okay. So, I have water with me too. Anyway, enough of that. So, when I was young, I guess I still am young, but when I was in like 5th grade, I discovered ASMR by watching a specific person on YouTube. I don't quite remember what their username is. This was forever ago, but they did unboxings, and their primary form of content was doing Nintendo like gaming consoles, and unboxing those. He had a bunch of videos where he would unbox like 3DSs and 2DSs and things like that, and he didn't have any talking in any of his videos. It was just him doing the unboxings. Sorry for the little edits. It was him just like doing these unboxings, right? And what he would do is he would take the box, he would open it, and he would have like these gloves on, and he would fiddle with the buttons and play the game, and flip through the manual and touch the stylus on the screen and stuff, and it was really tingly. And I didn't know what ASMR was at that point. That was just me watching a video, and getting tingles from it. Alright, so I began consuming his content pretty regularly, and it really wasn't all that big either. This was content that had like 2,000 views at best, so really it wasn't that big. And basically from there I was trying to figure out what about it was giving me tingles, and I was like, okay, so it's like these sounds that I'm hearing, like these mechanical button sounds and the scraping sounds and the gloves on the paper turning pages and things. And I was like, okay, so I just assumed that it was just a me thing. I didn't know that it was a very big thing at all. I didn't know it was a what's the word, like a phenomenon. I didn't know it was that until I did some digging. And I did some digging, and I found ASMR. And I was like, okay, so people make videos that are specifically for this phenomenon. So from there, I started watching. I think it was Gentle Whispering was the first person that I started watching who was a dedicated ASMR artist. Everybody knows who Gentle Whispering is. She's one of the pioneers of ASMR. One of the first really big creators out there, and I think she still makes videos today. But I watched a lot of her videos, and I had my favorites. You know, like I would go to her. I would go to Ephemeral Rift. I would go to Heather Feather. You know, the real goats know who Heather Feather is, and she disappeared. I have no idea where she is. Nobody does. She just stopped making videos. I think she just got tired of it or something. But I went to her. I went to Dr. T was another big one that I liked watching. Massage ASMR, relaxing ASMR. That the older dude that has his knife spinning in all of his intros, and those were the main guys that I would go to. And that's pretty much what you had. That was in like 2014, 2015. That was like 10 years ago. That's like all you had. It was still a very small community back then. And I thought, when I was in like 6th grade, I was like, why don't I give it a try? You know? I was like, why don't I give it a try? Because I'd been watching all these people, and they were giving me a lot of tingles. So I was like, this content's pretty popular. And like at the time, successful ASMR artists at the time were cracking just over a couple 100,000 views. There really weren't too many videos that had millions and millions of views yet. It was a brand new thing, at least to YouTube. So I made a channel, and I decided on a username pretty intuitively, and it was Youngie ASMR, as you all know. And the reason that I made that username is simply because I was just young, right? I was like 12 years old, something like that. So, 12, 13 years old. And I really, at that time, I was like, I'm like the youngest person on here that's doing this thing. Really, there weren't any kids doing ASMR. It was all like adults. There weren't kids whispering into microphones doing anything like that. So I like to believe that I was one of the first, kids to really kind of dive into doing ASMR content. I might be totally wrong, but as far as I'm concerned, there really weren't too many kids doing it. So I made my channel, and I called it Youngie. And the first video that I recorded was a gaming store video, which is really successful today. It has a couple 100,000 views, and it's still getting views. I just reposted all my videos, and it's still like one of the most popular, most watched videos. Like it's outperforming the videos that I'm posting today, because people like it. And an old microphone, I still have that microphone. I could look for it and fish it out if you guys like how it sounds. But I made that video because I wanted to do what everybody else was doing, and I wanted to kind of envelop myself in that culture, because I appreciated it, and I really liked what I was listening to, and I liked what I was hearing, and it was giving me a lot of tingles. So I said, okay, let's make some videos. And I was in like 5th grade or 6th grade, and I made a video and I posted it, and I forgot about it. I think I made 2. I did that one in a typing video, where I was just typing on a keyboard. So I made those 2 videos, and then then I stopped, and I was like, okay, just one-off thing. I'll just upload those 2 videos, and that'll be it. And that's how it was. And then I stopped making videos for the first time because I had uploaded those 2. I didn't think of it as a potential hobby or side project or anything. I was like, I'm just going to do this, upload these videos for fun, and then just dip, and that's pretty much what I did. So those videos went up, and I didn't pay attention to them at all. I just logged out, and that was like it. I'll get some rice in this next bite. Look at that. I also went to the gym today, and I did arms. Big swole. I did arms today in the gym, so I have to kind of you have to eat a whole lot to make sure that I get my calorie intake and protein goals met. So there's that. But anyway, yeah. So I made those videos, and I pretty much stopped after that. I was like, yeah, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. So fast forward, like a year and a half, almost 2 years. This is like 7th, 8th grade now, and I'm sitting in math. It's like algebra 1 or something. And I'm sitting in math, and I am with a group of guys at my table who weren't really super close with. They weren't my friends, but they were my colleagues, I guess. I just worked with them in class. And we were goofing off one day because we were done with the assignment. And one of them was like, hey, I have a YouTube channel. They started a gaming channel, and it had 10 subscribers or something, and they were playing Grand Theft Auto and stuff on there. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I have a YouTube channel too. Do you want to see it? And they're like, yeah, sure. And this was the first time I had thought about my YouTube channel in 2 years. So I pull it up, and they're like, wow, you have a lot of subscribers. And I was like, what? And I look, and I had 800 subscribers, and I was like, whoa, where did these guys come from? Because I hadn't thought about my channel in so long. I just made those 2 videos, and the one video, the gaming store roleplay, had 30,000 views, and the typing video had 6,000 or 7,000 views or something like that. And I was like, wow, this stuff did pretty good. Maybe it wasn't that many views, but it still had a couple thousand. I was like, wow, this did really, really well. So I was like, maybe I'll make videos again. Because I was like, I have a pretty good thing going here, got almost 1,000 subscribers and thousands of views on these videos. Why not continue? Right? So then I made a short where it was just a video of me smiling, and I was like, I'm coming back to ASMR, and I posted it, and it instantly started getting views and comments, and people were like, whoa, this guy's coming back. So that was kind of how I returned for the first time. Was I noticed that I had blown up a little bit, and then I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's make some content. So there's that part of the story. So then I go home, and I started filming, and I didn't have any resources to film, so I kind of had to make do with what I had, which was a headset and my computer's built-in camera. That's what I had. Take a little sip of water here. With my wallet, it's got a sticker on it. Anyway, so I didn't have a whole lot. I had a headset and I had my computer camera. And I put the headset on, I plugged the mic in, and I was like, okay, what do I want to film? I look next to me, and I see a collection of Rubik's Cubes in a box. And I was like, okay, turning sounds, that'd be great. And I picked the box Rubik's Cubes out on a whim and hit record and started filming. And that would come to be like the greatest decision I could have made, because that video of me selling Rubik's Cubes has over 1 million views, and it's like the biggest video on my channel. So that was a thing, and it took a while. It took a few years for that to hit 1 million, but it still did nonetheless, which is excellent. So for a while, like a couple years, I was filming videos pretty regularly. I did videos on stores. I did like hat shop, gun shop, Rubik's Cube shop, Poke Center, and I did role plays. That was my thing. My niche was role plays. I had a couple gaming videos in there as well. I played Roblox and I played Terraria, and I think I did Minecraft at some point for a little bit. It was like a mod pack of some sort, like Crazy Craft I think I did or something, but that was my niche, was making role plays and making gaming videos, and I kept getting subscribers and views, and I hit 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, and eventually 10,000 subscribers, and that was when I was like, wow, like this is taking off. And around that time too, the Rubik's Cube video eclipsed 1 million views. So I was like, okay, let's like go all the way with this, And at that point, and this is a little bit controversial, monetization is always a controversial topic for ASMR artists, because you don't necessarily want to put ads on videos that are meant to relax you, because then the ad's going to play and it's going to be super loud and everybody hates it. But me being a kid, I was like, let's monetize it. So I put ads on the videos, and it actually made a fair bit of money. And at that time, which was like 2017, 2018, ASMR was still developing. It wasn't as big as it is today, and it didn't make as much money as it does today, but it still made a pretty good amount. And I was like, okay, I'm seeing some figures from this, and I was like, let me keep making videos, let me keep monetizing. And that continued pretty smoothly up until I started high school. When I started high school, a couple things happened, and the two biggest things that happened was my interests shifted away from ASMR and towards music, which is something that I described in the other video that I made. I was in band, and I played the drums, and I was really good at it, and I was getting a lot of good experience and training with it. And I was having a way better time playing music and making music than I was making YouTube videos. And I also just had other hobbies too, like playing video games, playing outside basketball and stuff with my friends, and riding my bike and shit. And like, I did all that kind of stuff, and that took time away from YouTube. And I also just was kind of running out of ideas. So my life was getting busier. I lost interest in ASMR. Videos were slowing down. YouTube, I'll talk about this later, YouTube's policy, but I got really into music, which I still am. I literally am majoring in music. Like, that's my college degree. And I wouldn't trade it for anything else, because I love music, And I still make it, and I still play and all that, and I hope to teach it one day. That's like my goal. But anyway, so all of that took away from ASMR. And I took my first hiatus. And during that time, I really I wanted to step away, because I had spent a lot of time and I was a little bit jaded. I was like, I've done this for so long, a couple years now. Let me just like step away for a little bit and take a break. And that turned into a pretty long break, as I'm sure you guys know. It was like a couple of years that I took off YouTube. And one of the smaller reasons that I stopped was because people were kind of just like associating me with it. And I wanted my identity to be more than just an ASMR artist. I wanted my identity to be just a guy and a musician as well. people were like, oh my god, it's Youngie, oh my god, there he is. And I didn't really want that. I wanted people to not, like, when I met somebody for the first time, I didn't want people around me who knew me to be like, guys, he has an ASMR channel, you want to see? Like, I was not embarrassed by it, but I was a little bit put off of sharing it with somebody who I was meeting for the first time, because they might not be open to it. And there were a lot of people who thought I was quite strange for making this content. Obviously today I don't care, because I'm older now and I don't have any connections with those people anymore, and I can just do whatever I want, really. I'm 22 years old. It's like, who cares? Who gives a fuck, right? So, you know, but back then I had a little bit of pride, and I was like, maybe I'm not going to share this with people. And I started just kind of like disappearing, and I took my videos down, then I put them back up, and then I took them down again, and I made a video or two every now and then, every few months, and I was like, do I want to come back? And I was like, yeah, I want to come back. And then it's like, I actually don't really want to come back. And then obviously college started, and throughout college I didn't make any ASMR videos just because I was way too busy to do that. I just had no time. As a music major, just had no time. I was practicing all the time. I had homework all the time. I had performances, exams, and classes and stuff. And it's like, there was so much happening that I just had no time for YouTube at all. I considered making comebacks, but I was like, nah, it's not gonna work. And then I took my videos down again. I kept them down because at that point, when I entered college, I wanted to let go of ASMR entirely. This was also around the time where it was starting to really grow and become big, like like it is today. And I was, I could have capitalized on it, but I didn't, and part of me thinks that was a mistake, because it's like I could have been making videos and I could have been growing my channel, but I chose not to because I wanted to step away from it. I just wasn't interested anymore. And also because I went to college, I met an entirely new set of people, new friend groups, new organizations, new business partners, and it's like, I didn't want them to know that I had this thing because I myself wanted to step away. So I was like, if I don't want to be a part of it, I don't want other people to know that I'm somewhat a part of it. Which sounds really harsh. And remember, this was like 4 or 5 years ago when I started my undergrad. I'm doing a master's degree now, but times have changed, my mind has changed, so really I think I had a burst of motivation when I was in middle school, and then I had another burst of motivation when I realized I had a lot of subscribers. Then I had another burst of motivation when I realized that my videos were making money. And then I had another burst of motivation when that video hit 1 million subscribers, right? And then from there, then it started getting grindy. And I was like, I need to make videos, but I don't really want to make videos because it's a chore, and I just want to look at my analytics and see big numbers and go, as every YouTuber does at some point. And I was also a little immature too, and I was like, I want results and I want it now, right? And it's like I wasn't willing to work for it like I am today. I feel like today I'm a little more, I have a better work ethic. So I think today I'm a little more, I guess, built for it. And obviously it's not a full-time gig. I'm still a musician by trade, but I have more time now, as is evident from my uploads being better than they have been, to do ASMR. So I was like, let's do it. So I made that video, and then I made a bunch of other videos, and now we're here. So it's like, I had lost the motivation, and that's what stopped me from making videos, really, was that I didn't have any motivation. And that's the problem, is because, like, you don't need motivation. You're not really supposed to have it given to you. Like, you need to motivate yourself, like with any discipline. So it's like for music, it's like, how do you practice for 4 hours a day? It's like, well, you're not motivated to. Sometimes it feels like a chore, but you know that in the future you'll be better. It's better in the long run to practice. There's no downsides to practice. So it's like, do it as much as you can while you can in college, because when you graduate, you're not going to have those facilities anymore. And to me, YouTube felt like, well, I can come back at any time, which is like an interesting mindset in itself. This is really good, by the way, this food. I did a good job. But anyway, I'd stopped, and then I came back, and I stopped, and I came back, and I was inconsistent. I was losing subscribers, and people were losing trust in me, which is the worst case scenario. And hopefully I can rebuild. Because here's my honest plan with YouTube. I want to make videos on the side as a hobby, and I want to make videos semi-consistently because I know that people like it. And as a musician, I understand that my job is entertainment in music. When you perform, when you have concerts, you're an entertainer. You're an artist, but you're an entertainer. When I make YouTube videos, I'm an entertainer. It's something that I'm good at, that I find myself to be good at. So, with that in mind, when I have time to film, I'll film. When I have time to upload, I'll upload. When I don't have time, I'm not going to do those things, because that's like how my schedule works for me. I know there's YouTubers that post every day. They're full-time. I am not full-time. But I'm also not going to disappear again, because that's just laziness, and I'm not lazy either. I was, but I'm no longer, at least I hope not. I'm trying to get better at that. But anyway, big picture here is that I started when I was young, and I had fuck all to do, and I had time to do anything, so I just filmed, and then I got busy, and I stopped. I stopped filming because I was just really busy. And even when I wasn't busy, I just didn't come back because I just didn't have that spark. I didn't have that spark really to return to ASMR, which I think is unfortunate. But that spark has sort of returned. A bunch of life changes happened. I got my bachelor's degree. I started a master's degree. I got, I have a partner. I've got, got a lot now. So it's like, let me return to something that I used to enjoy doing. So that's kind of my journey. And it's funny because the people that I watched back then still make videos. They didn't disappear like I did, so part of me feels like I let you guys down a little bit, and I know I did. And some people that watched me don't even know that I'm back because they stopped watching me. But for those who did come back, I'm grateful for you guys for still being here, because I know if I watched somebody and they hadn't made a video in forever and they suddenly came back, I'd be like, oh, who are you again? So it's like, honestly kind of crazy. But yeah, that's sort of all I really wanted to talk about. It's like how I got started and how I got to where I am and stuff like that. If you guys have videos that you want me to do, let me know, because I'm down for anything. I only have a couple dozen viewers right now, so while we rebuild, let me know what you want to see, and I'll try to make it happen. But yeah. Anyway, for the rest of the video, I'm just gonna finish this bowl of food. So if you want to just chill out, you can. While I finish my chicken pad thai. It was really fun to make. Unless I spill all over my keyboard, of course. I don't even know if the mic is picking any of this up. I really hope it is. If not, then that's gonna suck. I know last video didn't pick up So I'm trying to be a little bit louder, but who knows, I might be overdoing it now. A little thumbnail there. Okay. That's all I have time for. It's been a half an hour. Cool. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, have a good night. Bye, guys.